My name is Nicole van Doren and I work for Woodimex International. The company I work for trades in timber, mostly rough timber, but also end products for example, the housing industry. We mostly import Meranti, Western red cedar, Oregon pine, and a bit of loblolly pine, which is plantation wood for the part we use. The EU timber regulation is aimed at minimizing the risk of letting illegal timber into the European Union. It's a very difficult legislation, I think, but once we started working with it, I found out that all the templates NEPCON uses just link you from piece to piece, and that's when we started to fill in all the pieces together, and it just became more structured and very clear for us. The biggest change in practicing our due diligence after this project has been that it's become very much more clear for us right now. Before, the EUTR was a bit of a blur, kind of. What do we need to get? There was all kinds of information online, and it was not always the same information. Different sources said different things, and the Dutch government doesn't actually tell us what exactly we need to do. So for us it was not so much clear, and after working with NEPCON we had a good gap analysis of all the information we still needed to get, and that has been the biggest change for us. And while we were working, the sourcing hub came online, and that's been very helpful. To get the information from the suppliers is quite difficult. From the start, we've written letters to our suppliers to tell them what kind of information we need for the EUTR, and most of them have not been really helpful to do so, not right from the start. It's getting easier now to get some information, but they're still holding back a little bit. They do actually say, when you have an audit, we will give you all the information that you need, but most of the suppliers do not want to share that information in advance. And for that reason, we've started mitigating the risk already by buying mostly certified materials. What we do when we assess the risk is actually looking at how corrupted the country is, so what kind of risk that brings, risks that could be in legal documents or fraud with taxes, or maybe even violating the rights of the indigenous people that live in the area. There are all kinds of risks that you can assess, and when you find all the risks that are there in a country or in a supply chain, you have more information to actually assess if there's any chance of illegal timber coming from that place. The risk assessments you can find on the NEPCON sourcing hub have been very helpful to us. I've been looking at all the risk assessments for the countries that we import from, and they give you a full summary of all the areas you have to look at, and also a smaller page so you can actually tick off all the boxes what kind of evidence you need to look for. I would definitely recommend the NEPCON sourcing hub to others. It gives you a lot of information that you need if you want to comply with the EUTR. You can find which species grow in that country, which species are native, or which is plantation timber. You can find the risk assessments. Basically, you can find anything on it, and it's a very good start to use for setting up your due diligence system. The main value for us by being part of the case study program was that we could actually know about the gaps that we had in our due diligence system and started filling in all the gaps and the missing links. And for us it became much more structured by doing so. And I think as well that is something we hear from different companies. They just don't know where to start, and by being part of this program, we knew where to start, and we've been able to set up a good due diligence system. My advice to other companies that are setting up their due diligence system is to use all the templates that NEPCON gives on their website. For me, it has worked really well, and once you just start filling in the information, you see at the end that you have a really good due diligence system.